Guess where I've been? Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are exploring the joys of Hobbycraft and their autumn collection. I have had some good treats that have come from there that we're going to be taking a look through today, and the reason is because a little while ago I posted this to my Instagram, which is an autumn wreath that I made from Hobbycraft bits and pieces, and everyone absolutely loved it. I got so many really lovely compliments and so many people asking for a tutorial, so we are going to get straight on with that today. And first of all, I wanted to start off by showing you what I got and how much everything was, so we're going to crack it straight on. First of all, the lovely wreath. This is the it just says made with love, craft the perfect day wreath, and I think this is the 12-inch one, which was £5. It's exactly the same as this one here. I think it's looking a little bit thinner now, but you know, we'll roll with it. And this was £5. And then I got two different sets of their wreath bits. They're kind of autumnal wreath bits. So we've got this one, which is a slightly bigger one. I will do some footage of this so you can see it without the window as well, which has got some really great bits in it. It's got leaves, it's got these little kind of pom-pommy things, it's got some kind of filler stuff, so that's a really great one. Again, £5 for that one. And I also have this one here, which again is just called Wreath Accessories. This one has the two big flowers in it, and this was also £5. So £15 for everything here. And the way I'm going to kind of attach everything to glue it on, the same thing that I did with the first one, is just with a glue gun. So we will get started with that now, and hopefully we can all make a autumnal wreath. So being as everyone seems to love this one here, and this is the one that got all the love on the Instagram, I'm going to try and recreate it again pretty directly. So I have got a few different bits and pieces that we are going to be using for this session. Like I said, we've got the big wreath. We've also got this little box of bits here, and this is the kind of main one. This I had to order online because they've run out of it in the shop, but these are the kind of focal points, these kind of tissue paper flowers. So I wanted to make sure I had those. You'll have to excuse me if I keep looking up here, that's where my kind of top down camera is, so I'm sort of making sure I'm actually in frame. And this one here is the kind of supplementary one with all the leaves that we use for the background, these kind of really fun sort of pod kind of things, and we're going to go with those. And this is pretty much everything, and just this wreath here too. So I'm going to move this one out of frame, but I'm going to pop it next to me so I can hopefully recreate it pretty well. So that might just pop into frame there, but let's hope not. And like I said, the method that I use to glue this all together is hot glue. So really simple. The hot glue gun I have got is from Poundland. The sticks that I've got I think are from Aldi. So really cheap and easy, and this is a really nice way of kind of being able to personalize your own wreath as well. So I'm going to warm my hot glue gun up and get it going, and then we'll get started placing all of our bits and pieces. Okay, so I've got my little glue gun here. Like I said, this is just one from Poundland, so it's not the best glue gun in the world, but it's going to work absolutely fine for what we want it for. And I'm just going to rest that on the lid of a candle so that it doesn't do anything too damaging to my table. Last time I managed to do this, I managed to get a burn on my finger, so let's hope we don't do that again. But what I like to do first off is just lay it out to get a base of all of the different things that I might want in my image. So I'm going to start off with my leaves here. I'm going to get those all out so I can kind of pick the ones that I think look the best, and then we can kind of go from there, make sure I've got enough. And then I like to place the focal points as well, so the large flowers that we've got here too. So I've got a few different coloured leaves here. We've got the sort of more maroony coloured ones and the green ones, so I want to make sure that I'm getting a nice mix of both of those throughout my piece. So first of all, I'm looking at my original one here, and what I'm going to do is place the flowers just on my wreath, just so I can get a sense of where I might like those to be. I did leave quite a bit of space between them on that first one, just so that I could get a bit of wiggle room. Excuse me, Banshee, do you mind not eating the plastic? So we're going to just lay them out. I think with the first one I sort of played with the amount of leaves I had, started off with the bigger ones and just slotted them into the piece. I can of course move these around, kind of play with them a little bit more as I go along, because I am going to be attaching those with the hot glue. So once I've decided where my larger kind of focal points are going to be, then I'm just going to slot these leaves in. And one thing that I found did make it easier is just moving those out the way once I had kind of decided where they were going to go, so I could sort of place my leaves on. So let's fast forward while I do that, and then we'll start gluing things down. Okay, so we have the leaves now, and now I'm going to start placing the kind of larger focal points. So, oh, I've just got a little hot glue around there, we'll move that in a minute. I'm going to pop my sunflowers on just to get a bit of a feel about where I'm going to like those to go. I like them to go a little bit closer together, so we're going to pop them in this sort of area. And then some of the other things that I used as well to kind of fill out before we got started with popping other things on were these kind of larger pom-pom pieces. So I'm going to tuck those bits on as well. Obviously, as I'm gluing them, I can kind of replace them, move them around a little bit, perfect them a little bit more, and then we will get started. One of the other things that I used in the middle too was from this box here, and it is one of these larger seed pods. So I'm going to pop that in as well. So we've got a base that we can then start kind of slotting smaller pieces into. So let's get started gluing. You have to excuse me, I didn't actually start my camera for that bit, but all I'm doing here is applying a really large circle of glue. I'm going to have to get another stick. We've run out just as I was speaking there, but applying a large circle of that glue to the back of the flower and just making sure that there is quite a bit on there. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows hot glue is the crafter's best friend. Some people absolutely hate it, but I love it, and I just am pressing that flower down to give it a bit of a firm kind of attachment to the wreath. If you're finding things are a little bit wiggly, then you might just need to add a little bit more of that hot glue. I'm then going to take my yellow pom-poms here, and we're going to stick those on as well. So now I've got my main elements in. This is where I like to have a little bit more fun with it. So I'm just going to take some of the other pieces that are in the boxes here and begin by just gluing them on just to fill up this space. So I might take some of the larger kind of seed pods that we've got here, some of this kind of thing. We've got some dyed things here as well. I'm not sure what some of these are, so you'll have to let me know in the comments below. I know this is a putka pod, so we're going to take some things here like our putka pods, some of the bigger things, and we're just going to start layering them around this space, filling in. And what I like to do as well is mirror each as well. So anything that I'm doing in this section, I'm also going to put a version of in this section. And once I have done that, I'm then just again going to kind of fill in space with these smaller berries and things like that to really kind of bulk it up, make sure I've got nice autumnal colours going in that wreath. So I'm going to grab myself a cup of tea, I'm going to sniff my pumpkin spice candles, and I'm going to start layering everything up. Okay, so now I've got the base of my wreath here. I've got all the different bits and pieces that I want on there that are quite large. I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. We've got some good kind of colour contrast. And what I'm going to do now to kind of fill in any gaps that I've got, as I'm looking at it, I can see there are some bits of kind of glue poking out. There are some bits of the wooden part underneath poking out. What I'm going to do now is take these little berry kind of things here. So let's make sure you can see that nice and well, and just kind of shove those in. We're going to go with the shove it in to make it look good approach. So if we can compare it to the original one, there's kind of lots going on here. It's a real kind of visual feast, and there is kind of stuff exploding everywhere. So shove it in approach, and we will then kind of have a nice full looking wreath. So I'm going to start off by just taking some of these larger kind of berry things and we're going to just place them into our wreath to make it just as full looking as we can here. So again, we're going to go with that sort of shove it in approach. I might use these last couple of kind of pucker pods as well, just to make it look extra nice. Let's clear out our glue gun without burning ourselves. This is always the bit that I manage to do myself an injury with, but we're doing good so far today. I'm amazed that I haven't managed to blister myself. So again, I'm just going to take these pieces and I'm going to place them in and around the wreath just to see where I think they look good. I want kind of longer bits for that section, so you might kind of have to play around with what you've got. Hopefully you've got some nice bits in there. I'm thinking that's looking pretty good, and I'm just gonna go with that approach. Shove it in, hope it looks good. And then once I have done that, there's just one more couple of bits that I want to add and we should be done with our autumnal wreath. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is just make sure that I've got no holes left in the wreath, fill anything up that I think looks like it could do with something a little bit extra, and then I'm finally going to snap off some of these little beady things that we've got and just pop those in any spaces that I feel has some gaps and need a little bit of something to spruce them up, and that will be us done. So this is a super quick project. As you can tell, it took me like 15 minutes, half an hour, and you get a really gorgeous wreath from it. So it's something I'd massively recommend if you've got a Hobbycraft near you and you fancy doing something a little bit crafty. So let's just get those last bits on and then we'll take a review of everything we have. So this is our completed wreath. This is probably the best way for me to show you, for you to be able to see everything still. I'm really pleased with how it went. Let's compare it to the first one I made. I think they're pretty similar. We have the first one here. I think the sunflowers on this one are a little bit closer together, and then this one here, which is the second larger one. As I say, I'm really pleased with how they came out, and it's a super quick, super easy craft to do if you're kind of feeling something a little bit autumnal, a little bit cozy, and something that you can display and keep year round. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to subscribe, like, ask any questions, give any suggestions that you might have below, and I hope to see you next time. Check me out on Instagram, all the socials, and we will join you again next Saturday to make some more bits and pieces. Bye everyone! Why are you going dark just as I'm filming? Just exchange it for normal glue, and all I'm going to... Oh, Banshee! Jesus Christ! Oh, covered in glue gun glue. Blech.